Hello, I'm making tourtiere pie today, and I thought I'd share it with you. Tourtiere pie is something that I was brought up with during the holiday season, and if you hear me pause, it's because my cell phone is giving me difficulties. But anyways, yeah, it's a holiday treat, and it's delicious. This here tourtiere pie takes, I'm making a big batch, so I would use 2 pounds of ground pork, 2 pounds of ground beef, 2 tablespoons of oil in the pan to start off with your meat, and then I have a cup of, well, I actually made 2 cups of chopped onion, 2 cups of chopped celery, 2 cups of chopped carrot, and then I have 2 cups of beef broth, and I use this brand because there's no salt added. There's just natural salt in it. And then I have my spices, and herbs, which are a teaspoon and a half of salt, a teaspoon of cinnamon, a teaspoon of pepper, 1½ teaspoons of summer savory, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of cloves. And I'm going to use a cup of fresh bread crumbs, and then you're going to need an egg and water later on for your pie crust and your shortening. I use lard because it makes a better pie crust. But anyway, here is the meat, and it's been cooking, and it's just about ready for me to go ahead and add in all the vegetables. It seems okay. So I'm going to go in and add the all these nice little spices here. You can see them. They're pretty good. We're going to sprinkle them around, share the wealth, and mix that in so that it's combined everywhere. Looks good. I did start off with the meat in a smaller pot, but then, and it did get to this stage, and then I realized if I add my vegetables in, there'd be no room to stir or anything, so I had to switch my pot. So anyways, I'm going to get my vegetables. Here they are. See if I can get them in. It's kind of tricky. With only one hand. Well, we can try and manage. Get that moving in there. And try to get the other stuff in the bowl going. Ready to fall out. And I can shake the crap out of it. Let's see. Good enough. Well, I'm in there. A couple of little bits and pieces. And get her going. I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit. And I'm going to get the beef broth here. See if I can crack that. Oh yeah. One of these doohicks. See if I can get it. Oh, I did it. So we're going to go. Oops. Making a mess. Alright, we'll try this. There's one. And pour it in. Get another one. Make you dizzy. Walking around. I'd like to get a nice camera, but that will take a little while. There we go. Let's see. And I think that is just basically to add a little more flavor, condensed, and to help these vegetables cook. I'm going to put the lid on and get it over here. Looks yummy. And I'm just going to put the lid on and let it sit for a bit. I'll come back and I'll check it out. Alrighty, I'll get back to you. And we're going to check out how this is going. There she is. Whoa. Kind kind of steamy. Kind of steamy, and she's bubbling away. It's been about, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. Check it out. And check out a carrot. It went through really nice and soft. I'm going to taste it. No, it should cook. So now what the idea of the game is we're going to leave the lid off and we're going to boil it down until there's about 2 tablespoons of liquid left in here. So it's going to take a little bit of time, but we'll let it go and it'll bubble out. I'm going to turn this up a little bit. I had to turn down a little bit because I didn't want to worry about it, and it did its job. I'm in no rush. So yeah, I'm gonna leave her bubble away, and then I'll be back. Bye. So here is, oh, there's my dog in the background. Anyway, there's the meat, and the moisture is mostly all gone. It's down to about maybe a tablespoon or 2 if you wait for it to drain. And I'm going to add a cup of these crumbs and mix it in. And excuse my dogs. The little one hates the big one. And that's just how she goes. She doesn't like him playing with his ball or anything else. There we go. I think that we're stirring the breadcrumbs in. That's going to suck up. Oh, geez, it gets steamy, doesn't it? Blow on the lens a little bit. Anyways, it'll suck up whatever little moisture is left. And then I'm going to let it set to cool down, because you don't want to put this in your pie shells hot. It will make your crust really soggy on the bottom. So you want it to cool down really well. And I'll make my pie crust. I'm making 3 of them. Let's see how that goes. This is what I'm using. It's lard, and there's a recipe on there. So that's what I'm going to do. This is the finished product. It's been cooled. You can see it's pretty, it's moist, but it's definitely not drippy. And this is about the time that you should go ahead and taste it. Tweak it if you feel that you need a little this or that, salt or whatever. I personally don't put a whole lot of salt in, and I don't think it needs it. I'm trying to avoid salt as much as possible in my diet. And like I said, I use this stuff here with the recipe, mixed it up in here. These are my disposable plates. It's great. You can freeze them. You can put the meat mixture in the pie crust and all that and just freeze it, and then take it out and thaw in your fridge for about 6 hours, and then brush a little egg and water wash. Or no, not egg and water. It'd be egg and milk. No, egg and water. Yeah, egg and water wash on your pie crust and bake it about an hour and a half. You just might have to put a little tin foil around the edges towards the end so that they don't get too crispy, because you want the heat to penetrate all the way through, and you're cooking the pie crust at that time. The filling is cooked, so that's not too much to worry about. You just want to make sure your pie crust is good and the temperature reaches a good height right through the pie. And anyways, I made the pie crust. Here it is, divided into 6 little even pieces. And I use the unbleached flour, something I prefer. I think it's healthier for you. And it tastes just the same. Cooks fine for making cakes and everything, really. And I'll get back in touch with the next video, and you'll see the pies done, like ready to go in the oven. Okay, bye. I am finished making the pies. There's number 1, and number 2, number 3. Did 3 little pies. pot's all empty. You took all of it, so they're good, you know, fullness. And I've got some egg and a little bit of water. We're going to brush the pie crust to make them nice and golden and shiny once they're done baking. And if you were doing fruit pie, you would use the same pie crust recipe, only you would brush it with milk, and then you could sprinkle a little sugar on it, and it will cook up nice and have a sparkle on it like the sugar turns to crystals. But with meat, you want to keep it like a wholesome-y, not sweet kind of thing, so you want to have the egg wash on top of your pie crust. And make sure it's mixed good, because you'll get clots of egg, and you don't want that on your pie crust. I mean, you could eat it, wouldn't hurt it, but you want nice looking pie, so you make sure it's whipped really well. So I will show you the finished product. Alright, here is my 3 meat pies, the Tourtiere pies. They smell absolutely wonderful. And I had some scrap pastry left, so I went ahead and I made an apple pie. Had 3 apples, matsu, put a little cinnamon and sugar, and it's brushed with milk, this one, and a little bit of sugar. And I'm going to pop that in the oven, and that'll be something sweet. Alright, I hope you enjoyed. Good night.